Over the years, Novak Djokovic has produced some truly brilliant performances in major finals. Entering the 2021 season, Djokovic trails only Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer in men's Grand Slam singles titles. As he continues to fight for more major titles, our Cracked Racquets team thought it would be fun to rank his performances in each of his 18 Grand Slam title winning matches. The 2021 Australian Open Final, Djokovic knocks off Daniil Medvedev 7-5, 6-2, 6-2. Number 15. Coming into the 2021 Australian Open, many questions surrounded the game of Novak Djokovic. After significant struggles to end 2020, many wondered whether Djokovic had finally lost that extra half step that had made him the most special mover in the history of the men's game. Many wondered whether the 2021 Australian Open would finally be the slam that the next geners usurped the big three and cemented their foothold at the top of the men's tennis game. Djokovic struggled early in the event, dropping a set to Francis Tiafoe in the second round, being pushed to 5 sets by Taylor Fritz in the third round, winning a close 4-set match over Raonic, and overcoming huge deficits in the third and fourth sets to knock off Alex Zverev in the quarters. Additionally, his opponent in the final, rising young star Daniil Medvedev, entered the match in the midst of a 20-match win streak, a streak that included a victory over Djokovic in November's ATP Tour Finals. Of course, as we've all come to learn, when Novak Djokovic makes the final of an Australian Open, simply put, he doesn't lose. After a tight 7-5 first set, Djokovic went on to cruise to victory, earning 6-2 second and third set results and failing to see his serve broken the rest of the match. With the result, Djokovic earned his 9th Australian Open title, joining Rafael Nadal as the only players in men's tennis history to win 9 Grand Slams at a single major. Overall, this match gets a 61 out of 100. With all due respect to Medvedev, who is certain to play more Grand Slam finals throughout the rest of his career, on this day in Melbourne, he simply didn't have it. And while Djokovic deserves credit for putting his foot on the gas, this result has as much to do with Medvedev as it did the level of Novak Djokovic. Still, given that many questioned whether Djokovic would be able to return to the winner's circle following the ending of his 2020 season, one can only remain impressed that Djokovic's dominance on hard courts has now been extended to a third different decade. The 2019 Wimbledon, Djokovic defeats Roger Federer 7-6, 1-6, 7-6, 4-6, 13-12. Number 14. The placement of this match may surprise some readers, but when the post-match story is about your opponent choking away the match rather than your superior play, this is what you get. Djokovic did not deserve to win the 2019 Wimbledon Final at all, plain and simple. He made 66 unforced errors compared to 51 winners, served at just 62%, and was 3 of 8 on break points. Worst of all, when all was said and done, Federer won 14 more total points than Djokovic in the match, 218 to 204. Sure, Djokovic has nerves of steel. He's displayed that many times throughout his career, and in this match alone, he saved set points in the first set and then 2 championship points in the 5th set. The second championship point save was particularly impressive, we'll admit. But if Federer hits a backhand instead of forcing a forehand on the first one and then just follows it in all likelihood, he'd have earned his 21st major title. If you're one of the greatest players of all time, and you need a 5th set tiebreak to beat a near 38-year-old player, even if that player is Roger Federer, you probably didn't play your best match. When all is said and done, Novak Djokovic may end up as the greatest of all time. However, his performance in the 2019 Wimbledon Final will not be the reason why. Match rating, 70 out of 100. Whether or not this match was really a classic is certainly up for debate. What isn't up for debate, though, is that neither player really played their best at the same time in this match. It was one big seesaw, and fortunately for Djokovic and his fans, it turned his way just before time ran out. The 2015 Australian Open, Djokovic knocks off Andy Murray 7-6, 6-7, 6-3, 6-love. Number 13. For the 4th time in 5 years, and for the 3rd time in a final down under, Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray faced off at the 2015 Australian Open. For the first 2.5 sets, this match was an exceptional back-and-forth affair. However, after that, Djokovic quickly ran away with the title. The two broke each other twice in the opening set. Not a surprise for two of the best returners the men's game has ever seen. Djokovic edged out a 7-5 tiebreak to take the opening set, then quickly went up in the break in the second and looked keen to run away with the match. Murray would fight back, however, and take a close tiebreaker set before going up an early break himself in the third against a seemingly hobbled Djokovic. However, it didn't take long for Djokovic to find his footing again, and as soon as he did, went on a roll that would help him breeze from that point forward to a 4-set victory. Djokovic played a very clean match by his standards, with 13 more winners than unforced errors and a 9 of 16 performance on breakpoint chances. However, in this match, it was clear that Murray simply wasn't on the same level physically as Novak Djokovic. And so, while it was a great performance from Novak, the outcome was far from surprising. Match rating, 72 out of 100. Although this match may not be as memorable as the 2019 Wimbledon Final, it can't be denied that Djokovic played far better in this one. This was the beginning of Djokovic's year of dominance, and it showed throughout the match. Even when things got tough in the beginning of the third set, Djokovic maintained his cool and ended the match on a tear, ultimately earning another Grand Slam title. The 2013 Australian Open, Djokovic beats Murray 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-2. Number 12. After taking out Djokovic in a thrilling 5-set 2012 US Open final to earn his first major, Murray seemed primed to knock off Djokovic once again after the first set of their 2013 Australian Open final. Murray was probably the better player for the first 2 sets of this match. However, if you're playing Novak Djokovic in a slam and are better than him for 2 sets, you had better win both of those sets. Unfortunately for Murray, he only won 1, and he ended up paying the price dearly for that as this went on. Murray never seemed to find his footing after dropping the second set, and after giving up a break in the third game of the fourth set, Djokovic seemingly had his hands on the trophy. Amazingly, Djokovic was only 3 of 11 on breakpoint chances in this match, and had 9 more unforced errors than winners. However, that was more than enough for him to get the job done in this match and claim his 6th major title. Match rating, 74 out of 100. This match was very similar to the 2015 final, but this time, the gap between Djokovic and Murray was not nearly as wide. This fact led to a much better, far more competitive match, and ultimately brought out the best in Djokovic. While his stats may not have been as good in this one, Murray forced him out of his comfort zone and ultimately elicited the best performance from Nole. The 2015 Wimbledon Final. Djokovic defeats Federer 7-6, 6-7, 6-4, 6-3. Number 11. Coming off of an incredible semifinal performance, many expected Roger not just to put up a great fight, but perhaps even defeat Djokovic in this Wimbledon final. However, Roger's performance, unfortunately for tennis fans, was nowhere near the level of his prior match. He served far too poorly and made way too many errors on his forehand wing to put any sort of consistent pressure on Djokovic. The first set of this match was probably closer than it should have been, and frankly, Federer was lucky to pull out the second set after an epic tiebreaker he took 12-10. However, after the first two sets, Djokovic began to take full control, and Roger's game simply wasn't there on that day. Djokovic finished the match with 42 winners and 36 unforced errors, and a tidy 4 of 10 on his breakpoint chances. In a way, this match is remembered more for what it could have been rather than what it was. If Federer played at the level he did against Murray in the semifinal, we could have had an epic battle on our hands. Instead, respectfully, despite the 4 sets, we sort of got a dud. Match rating, 76 out of 100. This will always be the classic that never was. After their semifinal performances, it seemed like Djokovic and Federer were destined to play for a match of the ages in the 2015 Wimbledon Final. Unfortunately, Federer didn't find his best tennis on the day, allowing Djokovic to pick up at the time his 3rd Wimbledon title. Why is this match number 11? Simple. Even though Federer wasn't at his best, any win over Federer in a major final is impressive, particularly when that final comes at Wimbledon. With so many results to choose from, it is inevitable that disagreements with this list will emerge. Our CR team encourages such arguments, so please reach out to us and let us know which Novak Djokovic Slam performance you were most impressed by.